Hi, I'm Katie. I just wanted to come and do a quick video about us emigrating to Australia and the costs that it has cost us so far. When we first looked into my emigrating, and we just thought it would be the costs of the visas, but actually there's lots of other things you have to pay for along the way. So the first year we gave ourselves time to pay for all of the skills assessment, the English test, medicals, birth certificates, police checks and everything like that. I just wanted to give you a rough idea of how much it's cost us along the way. So the first thing we needed to do was the skills assessment. I don't know if you've looked into emigrating yet, but you need a certain amount of points to be eligible to get your visas. 60 points I think it is, and we were looking at the 189 visa, and that's permanent residency, so we could move to anywhere we wanted to in Australia. Dav's occupation was on the list. He's an electrician, so for this we had to go to London to the Down Under Centre to get his skills assessed, to make sure he knew what he was doing. There's loads of paperwork that went into it as well. Like P60s, evidence that he has worked for 10 years plus as an electrician, statements from the boss, pay slips, everything like that, just to prove that he is who he is and he can do what he says he can do. So there's a skills assessment and a theory as well. He looked into it, he swatted up on all the stuff he wasn't doing at the moment. When you're an electrician, you kind of go into one area, you don't always cover everything, so we had to look back, do a bit of practicing and things that he hadn't done before. So last June we went to London and stayed the night so he could get up bright and early and be ready for his all-day exam. He was in there all day. He was on his own, he had the assessor to himself. It was pretty laid back and he got on with it fine. So the costs of the skills assessment was £1,000. I've also got skills stage 2 as £340. So we've written all of this down, so Dav knows exactly what they were for, but it was the skills assessment. So then after the skills assessment, the Down Under Centre, Wes from Down Under Centre, got us in touch with a migration agent. And because we'd done loads of paperwork already to get set us up for the skills assessment, a lot of it is what we needed for the migration agent. So luckily we were able to transfer that over, get a bit of a discount. I'm not sure he wants us to tell everybody, but they do partner with an agent now. The way they do things is a lot smoother, but back then he had to send us over to another migration agent. She was called Jenny from Ian Horrib. We chatted to her loads on the phone. She was really good, gave us loads of information, what we had to pay, timescales we'd have to wait. The good thing about a migration agent is they know exactly what they need, the paperwork they need, when to submit certain things. You can do everything on your own, but it's so complicated. I wouldn't do it on my own. I've got enough to deal with and I wanted everything to be perfect the first time. Didn't want to waste all of this money and for them to end up saying, sorry, you can't come. So the migration agent was £960. Factor in when you're paying for all these things that they'll say a price, but then you've got to add like VAT on top of it, or if you're sending things to Australia then there's a charge on money and things like that. So just always factor in a little bit more money. So we sent a load more paperwork with her, birth certificates, the kids, I think the kids had the full certificates. Mine and Dav's were a short version birth certificate, so we had to phone up, I think it was Carmarthenshire Council, wherever we registered our births, to get them to send out the long birth certificate. That was £26, so not too bad, and that was for both of us. The next thing Dav had to do was an English test. Anyone who thinks, oh yeah, English test is easier, it's not even as easy as a GCSE. It is really hard. We didn't want to fail it because it was extra points to go towards our visa, so we really needed the points. Dav swatted up on this as well. Lots of nights looking at books, doing tests like old papers to practice tests. I think he got a book to look at. He looked at YouTube videos. He really put a lot of time in to make sure that he was going to pass this test. It's lots of different areas. Spelling, writing, reading. So yeah, lots of different, and we got the points we needed for that. This was the IELTS, but you can also take Parsons. Not quite sure the difference. But we went to Cardiff for a day to do this. Oh, he went the day before as well to do speaking. Then he went all day, another day, to do his written test. That was £165. I was going to write all of this down, but I will do eventually. But I thought I'd do a quick video as well. So if you're listening and you want to know all the ins and outs, write it down and then you'll know what you need to do. So that was pretty much everything we needed for the points. It's also based on his age as well. So the next thing we needed to do was submit an expression of interest for the 189. So we did that on the 26th of the 8th, 2017. And then we realised there was a massive backlog, a huge wait, and we wanted to be in Australia by December 2018, and the 189 was just taking too long. So we submitted a 190 on the 3rd November 2017. On the 3rd. We got the invite on the 17th, so that was really quick. I think it's like a pre-invite, and then the proper invite was on the 4th of December. We had to pay extra for this. I can't see where we've written this now. New South Wales visa nomination, yeah, £175 extra. And with this we had to see where the skills were. We originally wanted to move to Brisbane, but we couldn't apply for Queensland. So we had to go for New South Wales. So all of the research I'd done in living in Brisbane, suburbs, everything went out the window. Had to start all over again and look for New South Wales. Dav wanted us to move to Sydney because that's where all the work is. So I had to look around Sydney. Anyway, that can be for another video. So then when we had the invite, we had a certain amount of time to submit our visas. Bearing in mind as well, it was coming up to Christmas. Australia will have all their holidays. Nothing happens when they're on holiday. So quickly we had to get our police checks. We got them done by the 14th of December. That was £90 for me and Dav. We had to book ourselves in for medicals. That was 4 of us. We went to Cardiff Aspire, I think it's called Aspire. Medical, we just had to like pee in a pot, get some bloods taken, have a bit of a physical examination, asks you a few questions. We had trouble with Isla because she's got a wonky eye. I had to go back to the hospital and ask for a letter to say it wasn't going to cost the government anything. And it was just like a normal glasses, everything. So the medicals were £820. I had to pay an extra £60 to get something else tested. Prices are soon starting to add up. So we paid for those in December, and then on our deadline that we had to do our visas, we paid for them on the 14th of January, my birthday, so I won't forget about that. So for 4 of us, Dav being the main visa applicant, but us all going together, that was £4,400. Trying to think of what else we have to pay for now along the way. not long after we paid for our visas, we looked into flights because we know that the longer you leave it, actually, the prices go up. We looked at going as close as we could to the police checks and medicals because after a year you have to activate your visa before they run out. So that could be us going on holiday or going in the country, but we didn't want to spend all our money on holiday, we just wanted to go. So we left it as long as possible because we now needed to save a load more money to go because all of our savings had just gone on everything else, visas, medicals, police checks, everything. So we booked flights for December. We're going to go on the 5th of December 2018, and flights for 4 of us stopping off in Singapore for a night was £2,010. If we left it a week later, the price had shot up because it's Australian summer holiday, the schools break up and everything. It's all about timing. It's really hard to figure out when we can do things, how we're going to fit it all in. It's been quite stressful so far, but after putting our visas in, then booking the flights, then we started to worry, what if we don't get our visas in time for our flights leaving? Loads of people were saying, you're stupid, you shouldn't have done it. But the estimated time for our visas were 6 to 9 months, so I knew that we had time before our flights to get our visas. We front-loaded everything. If you hear front-loading, it means that we did our police checks, our medicals. There's like a Form 80, you fill in more things and you do them all before you put your visa in. That's front-loading, and then hopefully you get your straight invite. Actually, they came back to us. It's called co-contact. So they contacted us, the Australian government, because our agent actually put in Isla's short birth certificate instead of the long one. So we had to send that in. All was fine, and we did get our invite. Have we written it down? We got our visas last month. I can't remember the date now. I don't think we've written it down. But yes, all very exciting. So the next thing we'd paid for was our first accommodation. I've paid a deposit so far, which was £452. There's a bond to pay when we get there. I hope it's there when we get there because I'm getting a bit nervous about it now. So far, Dav's got to do gap training as well. This thing about electricians, they've got to just prove they can do everything they do. So when they're there, they've got to get a book signed for everything they do. They've got to do theory as well. It just all takes time, and there's always something else they ask for. So this gap training, what have I got down? £850. And I think it will be the same again when we get there. I know, it's money, and I think we are just about up to £12,000. We cannot afford to ship all our furniture. We are going to have to sell it off and buy new when we get there because shipping was like £2,000, £3,000 to ship stuff. We can't afford to take our dog. I feel really bad. She's my little baby, but my mum and dad are going to have her. So, because that was going to cost £2,000 to £3,000 to take her. Yeah, so just wanted to say how much it's cost us so far. It's not just the visas you pay for. There's a lot of other stuff as well. So I'm going to do another vlog soon on something else to do with to emigrate to Australia. Might be a video of how we have saved this much money and how we are doing it all. Sorry, crying. I shall see you all soon. Bye bye.